Certainly made headlines. A California jury says Starbucks had to pay up for a hot drink that spilled on a delivery driver back in 2020. It was a huge award, $50 million. Now, the man did suffer third-degree burns when a hot drink fell onto his lap in the drive-thru, and you can see it's all caught on camera. Starbucks has released a statement after the verdict. They say they think the damages are excessive. So joining us now with more on this is 9 News legal expert Whitney Traylor. How do you figure a jury comes up with a number like that? Because somebody has to lead them to a number, because that's a crazy high number.
That's a really high number, but it really depends on the damages. So every lawsuit comes down to damages, and that can be compensatory damages, those to make you whole. It could be punitive damages to punish them as well. And so here he had severe damages. He had third-degree burns over a large part of his body. He had permanent disfigurement in the groin area, and he had to get 2 skin grafts. So this was like really quite serious. And so they take all your medical expenses, present and future. They take your lost earnings, your pain and suffering, your loss of enjoyment of life. So that when you add all of those things up, you can get to 50 million.
Yeah, man. 50 million sounds good to me. But the first thing I think of is the McDonald's case from years back when that woman won, was it like $1 million?
Yes.
But back then, that was a ton of money too.
Yeah, that was a lot of money, and that was in, I think, 91. And that case is completely misunderstood, but I'm glad you brought it up because it's relevant here. So in that case, McDonald's was keeping its coffee at 180 to 190 degrees, even though that was higher than standards, right? Because they knew they were selling more coffee the hotter it was. Previously, they had gotten 700 complaints about different degree burns. So this was actually an elderly lady. She was 79. She was in the passenger seat in the parking lot trying to put cream into it. It burned 70% of her body. Her sweats actually stuck to her skin. It was so hot. So it was really quite egregious. And McDonald's didn't want to settle. And so that made it even kind of more egregious. So she got a $2.7 million verdict that was ultimately reduced down to $600,000. And in this case, Starbucks actually didn't want to settle. CBS reported that in settlement discussions, they went up to $30 million, but he wanted an actual apology and a change in policy regarding their hot drinks. And he said no.
They were going to theoretically settle at $30 million, because the $50 million number to me is so astronomical. I mean, you know, we talk about those numbers in sports, and you know, we see these commercials. There are a couple of commercials for legal guys on our TV every now and then. You know, whether it's McDivitt or the Strong Arm or Bacchus and Shaker, they're always on. And sometimes they say, I got hit by a truck and he got me $100,000.
Right.
This is $50 million.
Yeah, and really that goes to what I was getting at with respect to the damages. And so I'm with you that it seems like there could be a much more severe accident that resulted in lower damages. But it really depends on what your injuries are. And so here, like I said, there was permanent disfigurement. So and the expense related to the injury, that's the piece I couldn't get to. I couldn't get the verdict report to show how they broke it down in terms of which category, but that's certainly a part of it. And Starbucks said they're going to appeal.
Well, that's got to move the bar for everyone.
Well, that's what I think. Is there any way something like this turns into a class action? I mean, I too have had the hot tea spilled on me, burns, but it really is a problem.
Well, this could definitely come up more, and what they're saying the negligence was when they put it in the Kerry case, they didn't push it down all the way, and so when he, you can see in the video, he kind of mishandles it, and then it spills on him. And so their argument is, 1, it was excessive, and then 2, they weren't actually responsible for it. But the law, the analysis is it foreseeable? So for Starbucks, is it foreseeable that somebody's going to spill their tea? For sure. So what can you do to mitigate it? Push the thing in all the way, make sure the lid's on, and if those things don't happen, then there's negligence.
Always blame the barista.
Right.
Please.
Yes, the deep-pocketed barista. In this
I know we're going to hear more about this, and we'll certainly talk about it with you again. Thanks very much. Whitney Traylor, always good to see you.
All right, thank you.